You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAAPodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Welcome back to the podcast, episode 767 of the Anime Addicts Anonymous Podcast. The sole mission is to make your anime addiction worse. Here I am, I'm back. I'm still bald, still beautiful. It's Mitsugi. I'm happy to be here. But I'm not alone. I am joined by a very strong crew today. Starting off here, we have Caroline. How are you doing?
Hello. I am doing well. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Doing good. I don't have a Monster Energy today, but I do have the 3-star Dragon Ball, which is cool. But I wanted the 4-star ball. Everyone wants the 4-star ball, but the gachapon machine in Japan, as they routinely do, hate me. So that's how it goes. We also have Raggedy Doctor wearing his Turbo Granny shirt and looking very cool with his outer space background. What's up, DR?
That's right, and I think you need to get a second ball. You get 2 shiny golden balls.
I do have a Dragon Radar. If you look behind me on the top shelf, there's a Dragon Radar back there, and it does have a Dragon Ball inside of it, but I'm not sure which one it is. It better not be the...
you got his reference there, Mitz.
Oh, I did.
The golden balls.
Oh, yes. Yes, find my golden testicles.
Very subtle.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you very much. And we also have Otaku Cop, who is sporting the pride of Washington, the Capitals. How are you doing?
That's right. I'm doing spectacular. I just watched Alex Ovechkin get 3 goals closer. He's now 14 away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's thought to be never possibly broken record of most goals scored. So I am a very happy Washington Capitals fan right now. But I'm even happier to be talking anime and some dan with you guys later.
Well, if you want to help the podcast out, you can leave us a review on iTunes. That's always good. I guess it's Apple Podcasts now. It used to be iTunes. Apple Podcasts is a great place to listen. Anywhere that you listen to us, if you want to write us a review, make it a good review, and then throw that baby in there. It really does help out the show. If you want to follow us online, you can do it on social media. We're on Twitch, twitch.tv/AAAPodcast, and we also broadcast on YouTube. It's live Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern. We exist on pretty much all social media, so you can find us across the X's, the TikToks, Facebooks, etc. So you can check us out on there. The Discord, of course. I was just trying to get people to play Path of Exile 2 with me on the Hobby Addicts, but a lot more people listen to this. So if you want to play Path of Exile 2 with Mitz, you can join the Discord, send me a DM, and we'll fuck it up. We'll explore this endlessly large passive skill tree together. That is instantly anxiety-inducing. So that'll be fun. And before we get to the show today, we got a couple announcements. Of course, the Anime Oscars voting is still going on. AnimeOscars.com. I just renewed the domain, AnimeOscars.com. And yes, you heard it. Believe it or not, AnimeOscars.com. You can vote for all of your favorites. Will it be Frieren that gets Anime of the Year? Will it be Dawn to Dawn? Will it be something else? Will it be Solo Leveling? We'll have to see. So go to the website, take a few minutes, and vote in our Anime Oscars. We're going to announce the winners on March 9th, so that's coming up. So you don't have infinite time, and I will close the poll before that. So probably when you hear this, you only have, I would guess, maybe most 5 more days. So don't delay. Get over there and vote. And we also have our Listener's Choice winners. I thought we'd let Caroline announce them today.
Oh, thank you very much. But just before we get to that, I do want to say, speaking of award shows, Otaku Cop and I took part in the r/anime awards this year. They will be doing a live stream on March 8th at 4 p.m. at twitch.tv/anime awards. And we are presenting the romance category. So if you want to
Ooh.
watch the show and also watch us in that particular moment, yeah, it'll be on March 8th. They'll be live streaming it, but they'll also put it on their YouTube channel at some point. I'm not sure if it's immediately or later, but yeah, go ahead and check it out. So, as you said, the Winter 2025 Listener's Choice Awards. Do we have the countdown, Mitz?
Number 5.
Number 5 is I May Be a Guild Receptionist with 16% of the vote.
What a loser. Second loser. This next one is so fucking funny.
Number 4.
It almost made it.
Neko at 18.6%. I don't know what the show is. What is the show?
Would anybody like to tell Caroline, or would you like me to do it?
Yeah, what scraped past our review this year?
Mitch, you're gonna do it justice more than any of the rest of us.
Let's see. It's a delectably big-titted elf girl who finds a cat, a person that was reincarnated as a cat, like a house cat, right? Sort of. That starts to live with the elf girl, and as time passes, a bond of animalistic portions is created where the elf girl is eventually very excited to find that crossbreeding does exist, and that at a future date, when the cat is indeed as large as a lion, it will hold her down and do the nastiest deeds to her, and they will indeed give birth to a series of the first 85-pound cat girls that will be available for sale on Path of Exile 2 with in-game currency only. Thank you very much. DM me on the Discord if you want to play Path of Exile. There you go.
Wow. What a shame. We won't get to review
Oh,
that.
it is a fucking shame.
Number 3.
Number 3, we have Medalist at 24.7% of the vote.
It's not
making
bad.
the first listener choice review.
It's actually a great show.
I wanted to pass it. I think I did, actually, but it was just like one of those situations where you know that there's not enough room for everything that you want, and sacrifices must be made. Oh, indeed.
Number 2.
Is the good shit.
The 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You at 34%.
I would trade 100.
We all knew this was coming.
I would trade
We have
100
culture-
girlfriends for one 85-pound
Cultured
cat girl.
listeners.
That could just be one of the girlfriends.
You know, Mitz, if you watch the online shopper anime this season, you will in fact get to see your 85-pound cat girl in all her glory.
If you had like 4 or 5 85-pound cat girls, it would be a litter of cat girls. That would be... Never mind. Let's just keep going. That's just too much. I can't handle it.
You have no idea what else to say.
Master Roshi level nosebleeds are ensuing. Here we go. Oh, fuck.
Okay, number 1 to nobody's surprise.
Nobody.
50.5% of the vote goes to Sakamoto Days.
Well, there it is.
Well,
Yeah,
there it
nobody
is.
was not thinking that.
Which is nowhere near as good as Behe Neko, by the way. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, probably smelly, like fat guy working at the convenience store, or deliciously big-breasted elf girl. Come on. Oh. No one agrees.
I mean, he gets pretty hot when he slims down. Just gonna put that out there.
I'm the only
not
one.
often.
I am a man of taste, okay? And 18.6% of you also are viewers of taste. The rest of you have work to do.
You definitely have a kind of taste. I won't take that from
That
you.
is true. You know,
Mitz is literally that meme. He's just like, I see you listeners are listeners of culture as well.
it's not my fault that anime has ruined my brain, okay? I'm a victim.
Ruined or reprogrammed?
Ruined.
Revitalized.
It's absolutely ruined because it has set me up to seek something that does not exist in this world. And that's why body pillows exist. Moving on. So on the podcast today, we're going to play a game. We were all once listeners. Now a religious figurehead is forcing us to rename anime to entertain his congregation. Oh, you're talking about me?
What a catchy name.
That sounds like you're talking about me.
Oh boy.
I have the Pope hats right behind me.
You should don it.
I can put it
It's
on
only
for
appropriate.
I'll put it on for the game.
It's only appropriate.
We're gonna play a game where we give an
It's just
anime.
spelled out in the title there. They all know already.
That title is not. That title just tells you nothing about this game. Okay, we're going to try to guess anime based off of a fake isekai title, and we are going to keep score. I have a scoreboard. If I'm not entirely incompetent of doing this thing on Streamlabs, the scoreboard will work. There it is. It does work. Okay, thank God. All right. We're also going to review Dawn to Dawn. So in all of its Pikmin glory, we will hear Pikmin screaming and dancing in the opening, and then we'll hear children screaming and crying about not having a dick and balls anymore, because that's what that whole anime was fucking about. All right. Do you guys have anything you want to talk about? You ready for big news?
Big
Yes.
news.
Let's go.
おー、大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
All right, for those of you Dragon Ball fans out there, it's a very tumultuous time. There's a lot of weird shit going on in Dragon Ball Daima that I'm not going to spoil, but things have become canon that we probably never thought would have, and it's not good, in my opinion. But Dragon Ball Daima just continues to be a sad pony. But other sad news, Dragon Ball Super has returned for the 104th chapter, but we'll get to it. But the 104th chapter is called The Birth of Saiyaman X, which is about Goten and Trunks becoming inspired to become superheroes like Gohan, and who has his own superhero persona. So the story of the chapter follows Trunks and Goten on a field trip to a museum that honors the greatest heroes on Earth, and they, get all inspired by superheroes and whatnot, whatever. The final page of Chapter 104 contains an update for the Dragon Ball Super series that says, "To be continued," at the bottom of it. Now, the only guarantee we're going to get here is that supposedly more of Dragon Ball Super will exist eventually. But unfortunately, this means that we might have to be waiting a very long time for the Black Frieza arc. And I wanted to hear what your guys' thoughts, for those of you that are on the show today that are Dragon Ball fans, if you have a particularly elevated level of concern about the future of Dragon Ball without Toriyama.
I do. I mean, I've watched every episode of Dragon Ball from just Dragon Ball all the way up through Super, and this latest revelation from the show that you're absolutely right. I never thought I would see that in canon. I feel like it's gonna kind of have very little direction, and they're just gonna do stuff that they think would be cool rather than what's best for the series. And I don't know what to expect, but I am not optimistic that they're gonna do right by the property going forward.
Yeah, for those of you who listened to last week's episode, I had to change one of my questions last minute because they suddenly made something canon right before I did that, which it is what it is. My issue with Dragon Ball Super and how it's been continuing is that there doesn't seem to really be a plan, and it always becomes a problem when stories are trying to continue for the sake of continuing and not for the sake of telling a story specifically. So I think, if anything, what would probably be best would be for it to take a break, even if it is a little bit of a while, for them to kind of, whoever's gonna, because it's for blanking on his name, who took over after Toriyama. But
It also starts with a T, I think.
it does. It sounds very similar to Toriyama too.
Let me see if I can find that for you.
He needs to sit down and come up with a plan of where the story should go from kind of the beginning-ish to the end-ish of what he's doing, and then he can fill in between, of course. But that's how you prevent this kind of meandering that's been happening with Dragon Ball in the last few years. Is it doesn't seem like there is a plan. It's just like Otaku Cop said, just doing stuff to do cool stuff.
I will say, in this last episode, though, without spoiling anything, I did get a very good laugh that Vegeta's Gunner status is confirmed. If you know when he ceased doing something at the command of a certain somebody. If you know what I'm referencing. It involves baths. It involves baths.
Baths?
Baths.
Yeah, I saw some memes in the Lewd and Rude channel on the Discord related to that. It has something to do with Bulma's breasts, doesn't it?
Absolutely it does.
I thought so. Also,
it's very powerful.
Also, I think the guy that took over for Toriyama is named Toyo Taro.
That's right. That sounds very familiar.
So Toyota took over for Toriyama, which is whatever. I will say, before we move on here, is that Dragon Ball Daimo's writing, as I've said before, has been very poor in my opinion, and probably any of us could write a story that's as good as that. So it's not like they're going to have a hard time finding someone to keep writing it, because as a big Dragon Ball fan, I will say with much love, it's being written like a little child, is writing the story. So pretty much anybody could write it. That's my opinion. Take it or leave it, but. Bandai and Toei Animation are not going to let this fucking property die, because Dragon Ball is making hundreds of millions of dollars a year even now, and they're not going to let that fucking cash cow go away. There's no way. So I expect it to be back pretty soon. I think it's all bullshit and bluster. Anyway, next up we have Caroline with some happier news, I think.
Yes. So, on the 20th anniversary of the premiere of Avatar: The Last Airbender, it was announced that a new installment of the series has been greenlit. Woo! Cheers. Officially titled Avatar: Seven Havens. This series has been confirmed for a 26-episode run that will be split across 2 seasons, or books, as fans of the show is familiar with how that goes. Seven Havens follows a young earthbender who discovers she's the new Avatar after Korra, but in a dangerous world shattered by a devastating cataclysm. The title of Avatar marks her as humanity's destroyer, not its savior. Hunted by both human and spirit enemies, she and her long-lost twin must uncover this mysterious origins and save Seven Havens before civilization's last strongholds collapse.
How long has it been since we had a real entry in the series?
Okay, so Avatar, the original series, ended in 2008. Then came out Korra, which took about 3 or 4 years. So,
wow,
I forget when it came out though. So it's been at least since the early 2010s that an a cartoon has come out. But they've had comics come out, and they're also prepping for an upcoming film following Aang, premiering in January 2026. So that should be coming out before this new series. So, yeah. I'm very excited.
Do any of you, besides Caroline, watch Avatar? I don't.
I love Avatar.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, shit.
I'm a big Avatar fan.
So
I didn't hate the live action series either.
Super
Oh,
pumped.
wow. That's not even me.
You mean like the movie?
There's the movie, and then there's the live action series on Netflix that came out most recently.
Did you like the movie?
There's no movie. What are you talking about?
The movie is far worse than the series.
Okay. So
yeah,
the series is okay, but the writing I thought was dog shit.
So no amount of Homerism can possibly make up for that film.
No.
No.
Again, what film? I don't know what you're talking about.
Fair.
We
I
choose
don't know.
not to speak on it.
I don't even know. I don't
It's
even
like
know why I
the
asked that
second
question.
season of Promised Neverland. It's like
I'm sorry. What?
Wait, Promised Neverland has a second season?
Exactly. That's my point.
Okay. Well, that's exciting. I don't know that it's. Let's see. It says. Does it give a release date for this new series? I don't see one.
Yeah, I was
man.
thinking about holding off to talk about this until that was announced, because the only thing that really the only thing that people did not know before was like the title, Seven Havens, and the fact that it's going to be 26 episodes. I think everything else has been kind of teased already. So, but there wasn't much else to talk about written that I found interesting.
Okay.
But it should, hopefully it's good. I mean, I wasn't huge on Korra. It was okay. Maybe it's just because I'm a purist, but this synopsis does sound intriguing. So.
I think the problem with Korra is similar to the problem I was talking about with Dragon Ball, in that when you don't have a full story planned out, you get kind of lost in the weeds. The first Avatar was planned out from beginning to end. All 4 seasons were mostly kind of planned out. So if they learn their lessons from Korra and plan out the whole story, I expect it to be better.
Yeah, well, the problem with Korra is that they did not know how long they were going to have.
Sure, of course. But yeah,
all right.
I mean that's the problem.
Otaku Cop, you're up.
All right. So for all of the rom-com fans, this year's 5th issue of Square Enix's Young Gangan magazine announced on Friday that Shinichi Fukada's My Dress-Up Darling, or Sonobisuke wa Koi wo Suru manga will end with its next chapter, which will appear in the magazine's 7th issue on March 21st.
They're tearing at their head. They're tearing at their hair and beating at their chests. Life is over. You mean that the no more Marin?
Yeah, and I will say, if you were like me and you kept up with the manga, the release was very sporadic. Like, over the course of the 5 years that it's been running, it's usually been about a chapter every 2 to 3 weeks if you're lucky. So there's not even that much content to read. And I really think it's because the end game has kind of already been achieved. And if anybody's thinking about watching it...
The end game? Wait a second here. What would the end game be?
I think... I mean,
hand-holding.
Don't tell me.
Yes.
Don't tell me.
Yes.
Don't tell me to use my imagination, because you don't want to know where that goes.
I think more than anything, it's do our two actually figure things out when it comes to each other. So there's been some resolution regarding that in the manga, and I think it's just kind of run its course. It was a show about a young man who is a doll manufacturer and befriends a hardcore cosplayer, and things kind of just go from there. But it's actually, I loved the anime. I thought the anime was very well done. I think Marin Kitagawa is probably one of the most popular recent waifus for the anime community. And she's just a bubbly, happy presence, good character, and I like Gojo too. It's like just a solid rom-com. So, but it's coming to an end. We hardly knew ye, Sonobisuke. We hardly knew ye.
What is the point of living?
But it is getting a season 2, which
how
will
I
be premiering
live
this year.
With season 2. That's how.
I know. You'll get your closure in animated form.
I feel that there's no point of my motivation for living is over, and I must find a new love.
Well, that cat girl at the online shopper anime is waiting for you, buddy.
They don't make cat girl anime anymore. Think about it. You seen any cat girl anime lately that are new?
Not since Cat Planet Cuties.
Cat girl right here.
That is not a cat girl. That's
It's a
Turbo
girl,
Granny.
It's a girl and a cat. Tell me I'm wrong.
It's a
Well,
pretty.
just a
not
little
wrong.
spoiler. In your pro category in the review, you did put GILF, and I can only imagine you're talking about Turbo Granny.
No.
No.
What? Never. What? Well.
But she'll
We'll see.
gobble
We'll have
your
to
dog.
see. I'll gobble your cock, boy. Fucking crazy anime. All right, Raggedy Doctor, what do you got?
So, speaking of Masaki Yuasa is back. The guy who helped launch Science Saru is coming out of retirement and has decided that he's going to do it again.
He was retired?
He was retired from like studio stuff. He has been doing work. Most recently was the movie Inuo.
How old is
But
this
he
fucking
was
guy?
like retired from. He's 59, I think. Yeah, something like that. But
He's
he was,
retired at 59. Miyazaki is disgusted.
Well, but that's the thing. He's not retired. He's still working. Like he retired and then immediately made a movie. I don't know. It's whatever. He was the president of Science Saru until 2020. Now he is starting a new anime studio called Ame Pippin. I have included the link to their website in our show notes. If you subscribe to get those. Plug. Yuasa's major anime credits as director include Japan Sinks 2020, Devilman Crybaby, Mind Game, Ride Your Wave, Ping Pong the Animation, the Tatami Galaxy, and like I said before, the most recently was the movie Inuo. So the master is back. I'm excited.
But why does he need a new studio? I don't get it.
Yeah, because why not?
Did his current studio decide he smells bad and now he can't go anymore?
No, he stepped down from Science Saru in 2020. He
Why?
was just kind of.
Couldn't he just come back? He founded the studio himself, so.
He could. I guess he just decided not to. I'm not
He
really
just likes
sure
the name.
why he left.
He likes the name Ame Pippin better. It is a better name.
I think it was probably more because he probably wanted to retire, and then, which is why it was retired, and then he was like, no, I still want to keep doing things. So that's my guess. They don't have anything announced yet. They are starting recruitment though. So, I mean, hey, you can move to Japan and work for Yuasa, I guess.
I would move to Japan right now and retire and never work again. I love Japan. The problem is Japan doesn't want me, okay? They don't love me. They don't want me there. And it hurts. It's something I've had to deal with for years now, and I will continue to deal with it. What I think is happening here with Yuasa is I think he retired, and he went home, and he was, hanging out at home all day, and his wife was like, bro, you need to go back to fucking work, because you're driving me crazy in the house. He's like, oh, fuck, I better make another studio. We'll call it Ame Pippin. And now he's going back to work. He just needs a place to hang out. That's not driving his poor wife crazy.
It gives us more good shows than I don't care.
Yeah. We'll reap the benefits.
All right. Well, that was certainly a... is Mason excited about this? Has anybody talked to Mason?
Mason hasn't talked to anyone because he's too busy screaming with joy.
Oh, he's that happy about it?
He's so happy.
Hilarious. Oh, my God. Oh, jeez. Okay. Well, why not? Why not? All right. Should we get to our game?
Absolutely.
Good big news of the week. Oh, shit. Totally unprepared for this. It's time for the Isekai Anime Title Game. And here is your host, the DR himself. It's Raggedy.
Oh, he's hosting. Okay. Did he know that he was hosting?
Well, the title of the segment is in red, so I thought, he probably is doing it.
And besides, it's games. I like games. Welcome to the Anime Titles Get Isekai'd. Today we all have a list of our own that we came up with of shows with, real titles, good real anime, and have isekai'd their titles because, as you know, isekai titles get very long, very ridiculous, and kind of spell out the plot of the show. So we're going to play a little game where each of us will give one of our show titles, and everyone else has to try and guess what show we isekai'ified. And we'll take turns and see who comes out victorious.
Yeah, I have a scoreboard that I'm working off of here, and we'll keep track. Honor system.
Well, how do we go about guessing? Are we all guessing? Is just one of us guessing at a time?
It's honor system, so I'll just go. I'll do mine first because I think they suck, and then you guys will. You'll think for I'll read it. I'll wait about 5 seconds, and then we'll see, and I'll give the answer, and then you'll tell me who got it. We're gonna have to go quick. But an honor system, I believe in you guys. You're all honorable humans, very beautiful humans, and that's how it's gonna work. I also put a website on the doc to the 20 anime with the longest titles ever, and some of these are very long. You scroll down to the bottom. The Misfit of Demon King Academy, hero's strongest demon reincarnates and goes to school with his descendants. That apparently is the longest anime title. So
I don't believe that. I feel like there's something longer.
World End. What do you do at the end of the world? Question mark. Are you busy? Question mark. Will you save us? Question mark. That's number 2. And number 3, trapped in a dating sim, the world of Otome games is tough for mobs somehow. I'm not sure if they're classifying. Here's one. Kochi Kame. This is the police station in front of the Kameadi Park in Katsushika Ward. What a fucking terrible title. What the fuck? They're like, they just give the address in the title. All right. Some of mine are inappropriate, as you expect. I'm going to read them. I'm going to wait 5 seconds, and then we're going to go around, starting with Caroline, because ladies first. And then we're going to...
So am I going first, or are you going first?
I'm going to read mine, too. I'm going to do my 5.
Okay, so it's
5.
Mitsuki first, not ladies first.
So here's the title. That time, I have not proofread these. That time I got reincarnated, but if they wanted me to drive attack... Hold on a second.
Are we going to be able to read it while you...
These are pretty easy. That time I got reincarnated, but if they wanted me to drive a taxi, couldn't I have been an animal that doesn't absorb the steering wheel with fatness, or at least could I have opposable thumbs? Question mark. Who would like... It's probably easier just to let somebody volunteer for... I'm going to go with Caroline. Caroline, do you know the answer? This is very easy.
Yeah. Yeah, should I say it?
Yeah.
Odd Taxi.
Odd Taxi is correct. Caroline gets 1 point. Now... Come on, Otaku Cop, Raggedy Doctor. Did you both know that?
You can't even see it. I wrote down Odd Taxi.
Oh, I see it.
Yes, I knew that.
Why is he the worst possible animal to be driving a car? He has fucking flippers, and it would never fit behind that steering wheel. He's a fucking walrus.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's the worst. He could have been a snake.
Well...
No hand.
They don't have any limbs.
That's true. How does he even work the pedals? Anyway.
I have no idea.
Let's see if these continue to be as lame as that one.
Or should I go next? Or
I'm gonna run through all mine. I'm running through all mine first.
Okay, so why'd you tell me I was going? Never mind.
You're guessing
Okay,
first,
now I
Caroline.
understand.
All right, this next one's called Bricked Up. Watching the wolf eat the rabbit. I always wear my fursuit. Caroline.
Beastars.
That is correct. You're so good. All right.
Thank
Caroline
you.
gets 1 point. Yeah. And Raggedy Otaku Cop, do you both know that? You don't have to show me your phones. I can't see them anyway.
It's for the viewers to think we're not
Yes.
B-stars.
Yes.
Beastars is such a bizarre anime because there's obvious intense sexual undertones in that anime. I mean, come on. The dominant wolf is going to, devour the helpless, subservient rabbit for that entire show. Let's see what else we got here. I almost got married until I had to return to the streets because of a certain blue dress.
Oh, God.
It was almost hard.
They're not... These titles give away the whole plot line of the show. All right, Caroline.
You see, I didn't really know what you mean by return to the streets, but the moment you said a certain blue dress, I just remembered one of the weirdest gripes you've ever had for a review, and that would be My Happy Marriage.
How about you? Bald Man? Did you get that?
Yes, I did.
What was with that delay? Who else would I be talking to?
I was memorized by the other bald man on the screen. You'll have to forgive me.
That's fair. And Raggedy, did you get that?
Yeah, My Happy Marriage.
See, I will tell you something here. The second season of My Happy Wedding is way
Happy
better.
Wedding?
Yeah, that's what I call it. My Happy Wedding.
Okay.
So they're not married, by the way. That fucking anime. The second season of that anime is notably better than the first season, and she hasn't put that blue dress on, and I think that might be what's making it better.
Mm.
Okay. Next up in Mitsugi's very boring and lame list of titles that I didn't do a good job with. Daddy Issues. Putting my life of killing thousands behind me, I woke up one day as Jesus himself.
Now this one is tough.
Daddy Issues. Putting my life of killing thousands behind me, I woke up one day as Jesus himself. The crowd looks confused.
Wait,
Wow.
I got it.
I
Caroline.
have one guess.
We got to go quick,
Okay.
Caroline. Do
I'm
you
just
know?
gonna say Dragon Ball because that's
That
all I
is
got.
not correct,
I think I got this one.
but I appreciate that you tried. Raggedy, he seems very confident.
Is it Vinland Saga?
It is Vinland Saga.
Oh, that was good. That was good.
That's a good one. That's a real good one.
Oh shit! They all didn't suck. Okay, Otaku Cop. Did you know that?
Not you. My guess was Goku. So I was going to.
Wow. What was Goku? Does Goku have daddy issues?
I don't know. He's just anime Jesus.
So it's daddy issues because Thorfinn's dad. Well,
Thor,
never mind.
No,
I mean,
yeah,
it's-
that definitely works.
and then he's basically supposed to be Jesus in season 2. I mean, let's be honest. Come on, he's even taking all those punches at the end of the season, like taking all their sins upon himself and all this. It's definitely supposed to be Jesus. The last one, Bald Man Chronicles. After 10 years, I finally pulled all my hair out, waiting for my quote really good anime to get another season. Yes, indeed. Yes. Okay, Caroline.
Is it One Punch Man?
It is.
Okay.
Raggedy, did you know that?
One Punch Man, which M would argue is really good. I'm not gonna support her fully on that. But first season's fantastic.
Shots fired, and she's not even here to defend herself.
Otaku Cop, did you know that?
Yes, I did.
All right. Vinland Saga just doesn't have a good second season. It's another one of those, like, if you'll notice, I didn't even acknowledge the second season in that question.
Vinland
So,
Saga? You mean
it's-
One
I think
Punch
it
It's
was
been-
bad. I think it's
the-
just so
Yeah, you
different.
said Vinland Saga.
tonally.
You meant One Punch Man.
That's what I meant, One Punch Man, yeah. So One Punch Man second season is horrendous.
Yes.
And so, yeah, you're still waiting for that next good season. All right, after one round, I haven't gone yet. I have 0 points. Caroline and Otaku Cop have 4 points, and Raggedy got all 5 of those answers correct because he's an overachiever.
That's right.
But we'll
It'll
see.
make my fall even more hilarious.
We'll see. We'll see. All right. Now I'm looking forward to playing, and I will be the one that'll go first this time. We'll just make it smooth like that. So
All right.
Caroline
no
is
problem.
up. So Caroline won't be answering any of these next 5, but that's okay. We'll be back to Caroline shortly.
Okay, here's my first title.
Oh boy.
I have the power to destroy the world, but that won't impress my crush. So I'm pumping iron and working on my self-esteem.
Oh yeah.
Man, I keep thinking it's that anime. I can't remember the title. Oh no. Oh, it's villainous something. What the hell was the fucking title? That's my answer.
Love After World Domination, is that what you're looking for?
Oh no. Yes, that was what I was looking for. Oh no. Okay.
Not the right answer.
Okay.
but
No, of course not.
Okay, Raggedy. Would you like to go
I'm going with Mob Psycho 100.
first? And Otaku Cop?
I actually drew a blank. I couldn't think of something, so you're gonna have to put me down as a L.
All right, the answer is Mob Psycho 100.
Oh man,
Let's go.
weren't they pumping iron in World Domination too?
Well, I
Yeah, but they
mean, they
can't destroy
were
the
they were
world.
like the Sentai guys.
I thought the main character just like pumped iron all the time, and then
Oh
like,
yeah, he loves working out, but
oh,
his
man.
self-esteem wasn't an issue.
Well, I couldn't remember the title of that one either, so it doesn't matter. Uh-oh.
Okay,
I'm in
here's
trouble.
the next one.
Still no points.
Reincarnated as a rock. Now I have to level up to become God.
What the fuck was
Reincarnated
it?
as a
Oh, man, I got
rock.
it. Took me a second.
Oh no.
Come on, Mitch, you can do it.
Reincarnated
You
as a
can do it.
rock.
Yeah.
As a rock?
As a rock.
Not the rock, a rock.
Can you
I would
imagine?
watch the hell out of that anime.
Can you read it again, please?
Reincarnated as a rock.
it's on the
Now I
screen.
have to level up to become God.
I have absolutely no idea what this is until you give me the answer, and then I don't know it. Raggedy?
Okay, Raggedy.
To
Okay.
your eternity.
And Otaku Cop?
Oh, fuck.
To your eternity.
Correct.
Oh,
It's to
come
your eternity.
on. Gosh.
That's
This is not going well. It's going great for
Yeah.
Raggedy Doctor.
I'm not sure if this will be good for you either. I'm not even sure if you've seen it. Okay, next up. Born a princess, now a secret agent, I go undercover as a schoolgirl.
Oh, my God.
Born a princess.
Oh,
I know this one.
I have a great guess. My guess is Spy Family. That's not right.
Raggedy?
Caroline's looking at me like,
Born.
like what kind of
That was
cracker?
the first thing that popped into my head, but I know it's wrong. Born a
Oh,
princess.
well, okay.
Now as secret agent, I go undercover as a schoolgirl. I'm gonna be honest. I'm drawn. You know what? Wait, hold on. Sailor Moon. That's my guess.
Otaku Cop?
I hope this is right, but I'm gonna go with Princess Principal.
Oh, my God.
Correct, it's Princess Principal.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, man. That was
The
my
first
Sailor
part
Moon
was a
was
bit of a
fantastic.
spoiler, but also it's been several years since that show came out. So.
That was my first guess, but the schoolgirl thing threw me off, and then I remembered that Anya or whatever goes to school, and I was like, okay, well maybe she's a princess. I didn't watch season 1, so that one cost me.
No, I didn't see Princess Principal, so
I
no
still have
idea.
0. Oh boy.
Pretty good show. Okay, next up. I lost my job, my crush is dead, and the world has gone to shit. But frankly, I've never been better.
My crush is dead.
Okay.
Lost my job, my crush is dead. The world has gone to shit. Okay. It's going to be Zom 100. Come on.
Raggedy?
Come on.
Oof. Just because we watched it recently, probably wrong. Dead Demons.
Oh. I
And
hope
Otaku
not.
Cop?
I'm gonna also guess Zom 100.
It's Zom 100.
Oh my god, I'm on the board. I'm on the you know what? Fuck it. Okay, I was so excited there. I scored. All right.
Now, Otaku Cop, why are you highlighting my questions and answers?
Have you been
no.
cheating? Pumpkin eater?
No, I'm not trying to highlight hers. I was trying to go to mine. Unfortunately, I have some lag in my mouse. I'm not a cheater. I am a man of the law. We do not cheat.
That's true. That's true.
Or are you above the law?
No, I'm definitely not. My body.
He
can't
is the
tell
law.
you absolutely
I
not.
am the law.
I was pretty proud of that one. So that was pretty good.
All right, let's
Okay,
hear another.
and my
Let's hear
last-
it.
My last title. I peaked in the 5th grade, and 5 years later, I'm haunted by both a girl and childhood trauma.
Oh my god. I peaked in the 5th grade. That's like every anime ever. Oh my god. I peaked in the 5th grade. And 5 years later, I'm haunted by both a girl and childhood trauma. It's, that one horror show that I can't remember the title of. That's all I got. That's all I got.
Raggedy?
Maruku-chan is, this is not my guess. I think you're thinking Maruku-chan.
That's what I was thinking.
A Silent Voice.
Wow. Seems like a better guess.
And Otaku Cop.
I'm drawing a total blank here. I have
Wow.
no idea.
Wow.
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 Did I get it?
Anohana.
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 Oh my god. Okay.
I only watched one
Boom,
episode.
boom,
of that.
boom.
Okay. Wah, wah, wah. All right. Here comes your score update. With 1 point, that's right, it's Mitsugi. My time will come, okay? With 4 points is Caroline, but remember, Caroline wasn't able to play that last round, so she'll be catching up here in round 3. And tied with 7 points is both Raggedy and Otaku Cop, showing that they are a bunch of nerds.
Unapologetically.
What, you ain't no nerd? I could have sworn you was. All right. Now, with round 3, we have Otaku Cop next, and I'm going to go put my Pope hat on.
Okay. I've pre-read.
I need it for good luck. All right.
All right. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Stuck in the military. I'll beat all the robots until I see my boyfriend.
Oh man, see this is Otaku Cop. This stuff could I was trying to pick stuff that was pretty current, but Otaku Cop, he could be going back to like the 80s on these. Oh man. Oh man, stuck in the military. I'll beat all the robots till I see my boyfriend. Oh man.
Who's starting?
Not me.
You start, Doc.
All right. I'm ready to guess. I think he is going back to the 80s. More specifically,
Oh, man.
86.
Oh,
86.
that I had no idea, as usual.
It is 86.
Oh, come on. Come on. Where's the freebie like golden boy question?
Shout out to Sajinta.
It's in there. You'll see it. All right.
All right. Boy, it's not getting any better. I'm feeling like the Oakland Raiders right now.
All right. Catatonic in a video game. My wife and girlfriend fight to wake me from my slumber.
Oh man. My wife and girlfriend. Catatonic in a video game. Oh man. There's so many video game anime where characters like go into comas or whatnot, but my wife and girlfriend. I have no idea.
Okay. I think I'm
Raggedy?
ready. Yes.
My
Ready.
wife and my girlfriend.
I'm going to go with Sword Art Online.
Well, I haven't seen that.
Okay.
so-
What about you, Caroline?
I'm going to go on Sword Art Online, specifically Alicization.
Oh, yeah. Do we
There
have to
you
be
go.
specific?
Caroline
Did I have
got
to be
it.
that? Did I have to
Sword
be
Art
I
that?
haven't
Online,
even seen that show yet.
Alicization.
Oh,
Do
you're
I
the
not get that point?
you are
for
the
not being
judge. You're the
specific
judge here, Raggedy. All right,
you know what?
you're the judge of Otaku Cop.
No,
Sorry,
I
sorry.
was considering going originally with just SAO, so I think it's fine to count that.
I think it's fair. Sword Art Online, as long as you got the franchise.
He's such a
right, you're
nice
good.
guy.
He's
such
so
a nice
so
guy.
nice.
Well, I'm very bad at this game. Okay.
This one is the softball, Mitts. If you don't
Yes!
get this, I'll be very ashamed. This is
I
that
know this.
time I saved the world while co-piloting a giant robot in doggy style position.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Ready.
All right.
All right,
Darling in the Franks.
Darling in the Franks.
Mitts.
Yeah, of course. Everybody knows.
Yeah,
that. In fact,
yeah,
in fact,
Darling
I
in the
thought
Franxx.
thought about doing that one, but then I was like, nah.
Excellent.
All right,
All right.
I'm on the board.
This other one I think is kind of an easy one, but I still did what I could. Explosion. The only way I win is by making all my customers nude after eating my food, but it can only happen at school.
The only way I win is by making all the customers nude after eating my food,
Oh yeah.
but it can only happen at school.
If you just stopped at Explosion, I was gonna say Konosuba.
That'd be too easy.
Make my customers nude
Yeah. Obviously.
after eating
only
my
way you win.
food.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
What the?
I don't know what
fuck-
you're not getting here.
I don't fucking. I'm just not recalling the 1,000 animes I've seen. They're all.
What do you think, Raggedy?
They all blend together into a blob.
This is Food Wars. We can
Oh.
go with whichever plate you want.
Mm.
Plate 1, plate 2.
Caroline?
Food Wars.
Mitts?
Oh man, you know damn well I didn't know that.
All right.
You'd probably
last
be
one-
really into that show.
I've
Have you
seen
not seen
Food
it?
Wars.
Okay, so how do you not remember the
'Cause I'm just-
clothes exploding?
Because when
That's
when
your
I
thing.
when I think exploding clothes, I go to like Iki Tosen and stuff like that. I'm not really thinking about Food Wars.
I almost went with that one, Mitz. I'm not gonna lie. I almost went with that one. All right. Here's the
Okay.
last one. It's my longest. I accidentally had sex with my sister. Then I realized I was in love with my other sister. Dating both, but choosing one is hard.
Bonu-chan.
Raggedy, are you actually really thinking hard about this?
No, it's
I
not
feel-
Bonju. It's not Bonu-chan.
No, I actually am.
Wow.
Well, I mean, if I haven't seen it, then I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, I feel like the synopsis of the show outshines even the title.
I mean, I
Like,
have a-
feel
I
like
have a
everybody knows
guess.
this one.
Your
I
guess
do
will
have-
probably be right.
Guess. Do it.
Is it Domestic Girlfriend?
What do you think,
Fuck if I
Caroline?
know.
Domestic girlfriend.
Oh, that's not what I guessed. Is that the answer?
It is Domestic Girlfriend.
Oh, fuck.
Oh wow. Are they sisters? Is that really what it is?
They are sisters.
They are sisters.
Oh shit.
But they're not related to the boy.
Of course not,
They're
come on.
step siblings, but
I thought it was Bonu-chan.
well, I don't know if there's any catching up to Raggedy at this point. Did he? What are the standings?
All right, currently the standings. Mitsugi coming in last with 2. I got
It's
Zom
not over
100.
yet.
It's not. I got Zom 100 and Darling in the Franks. Otaku Cop coming up in third place with 7 points, but since Raggedy won't be playing this next round, he still has a chance. Caroline with 9 and Raggedy with 12. So I would say right now it's not looking too bad for Caroline.
Yay!
All right.
Bonu-chan, an instant classic hentai, by the way, stands for Breast Milk Girl, Studio T-Rex.
Isn't that just Quasar and Stigmata?
It's so much better than that. It's
not.
art. We decided hentai is art, and
That
It
is
is.
the law of the land now.
it is beautiful. All right, here's
Raggedy, how
here's
many did you make?
like 9.
I made 9.
Oh wow!
This is Caroline's.
Just to-
All right, so you're only gonna do 5,
I
but
only do 5 of them.
Caroline is
So
this is her chance to overtake you. We'll see if she needs 4 out of 5, and she will win. So
This is the first one. My dad went out for cigarettes and never came back. Now I have to risk my life fighting spiders and ants to find him.
I know this one.
Ah.
I know it. I'm excited. I'm writing it down.
It sounds. I didn't watch this show, but it sounds like a recent one where it was like, this girl got hired to work in the dungeons.
The Pope hat is
I-
working.
Uh,
No
So I think
answers on
Otaku
Twitch,
Pop
please.
starts this time, right?
no, I don't think I know this one.
I know it.
I mean, I think I know, but I don't know the title.
It's Hunter x Hunter.
Hunter x Hunter.
It is a
Oh!
Hunter.
Yes, I
Okay.
scored. This is great. Uh-oh. Caroline now needs
Uh-oh.
4 out of 5. She only need 3 out of 4 for the tie. So,
Let's pick another fun one. Let's go with this one.
okay, he's taking the one from the bottom of his list.
That's right. I was sent to this world to destroy it, but after getting a traumatic brain injury, I became its strongest protector.
Go ahead and guess on Twitch. Just I would recommend that none of the hosts look at Twitch because not that it really matters that much.
I'm gonna fix my typos.
I was sent to this world to destroy it, but after getting a traumatic brain injury, I become the strongest protector. Well, that's easy.
Who's
Wow.
going first? Is it?
Otaku Cop.
Dragon Ball.
Caroline.
Dragon Ball.
Mitsugi.
It's got to be Dragon Ball. That was the easiest one of the day.
This is the Dragon Ball franchise.
And if it was not Dragon Ball, that would have been the most insane rug pull of all time. All right. Caroline now needs just 2 points for the tie,
Let's see.
as Raggedy pulls easy ones out of his hat.
Oh, you want a hard one?
If you want to win the
Mitzi,
game.
Stop talking.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Do I want a hard one? I have 4 points. Of course I don't want a hard one.
Where is it? I gotta find the one I want. There, too many. There we go. All right, I got it.
All right, come on. Come on.
Here we'll go. I was granted the weakest skill, but I've made it the strongest. Now I have to overthrow an oppressive monarchy, even though I just want to eat meat.
What the fuck?
I already know this one.
An oppressive monarchy, even though I just want meat.
That's the giveaway.
Just want meat.
Miku.
Well, I'm ready
Ukon.
whenever we are.
Go ahead.
All right.
Otaku Cop.
One Piece.
One Piece.
Come on, of course it's One Piece.
It's of course if you bothered to watch it.
All
But I didn't know
right.
he had the weakest skill.
It's pretty.
It's up there.
His skill is I am made of rubber.
I don't know.
All right. Next one, number 4 for mine. Back to the top. Help! My balls were taken, and now I have to rely on this spunky
come
teenage
on.
girl with a weird fashion sense to solve all my problems.
Recency bias.
Ha.
I know this one. Otaku Cop.
Dan da dan.
Dun 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 dun.
Gotta be down to none.
It's, it's
Yeah,
Apothecary Diaries.
What the fuck?
That's not right.
Yes, it is.
She
Tell me
doesn't
I'm
have a
wrong.
weird fashion sense.
According
Oh, she
to
does. She
the-
looks like a fuck. She looks like Barney the fucking dinosaur.
She actually very specifically has a weird fashion sense because she doesn't want people to like her.
Wow. No one got
That's right.
apothecary.
It's-
I wrote
it's-
apothecary dinosaur. The fucking. Wow, that
Yeah,
was
there's
that
your- there's
was
the
that
red
intentionally a trick question?
Yes,
You jerk.
I am a jerk.
Yes.
Okay.
Big mean spicy boy
Is
is
this-
what you are.
Let's, okay, which one should we go with for the last one?
I'm putting the scoreboard up on the screen here so I can display how sad and pathetic I am.
All right, let's go with this is a good
It's the
one.
last question. Caroline
Last
needs
question.
this. Caroline needs this for the tie.
God is a sore loser, so after we beat him at chess, he kidnapped us.
Hmm.
I have a guess.
I also have a guess.
Otaku Cop, this is it. Let's go.
Is it? I don't know. I got nothing.
I got a guess. No game, no life. That's my guess.
No game, no life.
But I don't think that's
no
right.
game, no
Yep,
life.
No
Is
game,
that correct?
no life.
That's correct.
Oh my god, I'm a genius.
And
I didn't even see that show.
there you go.
Did you get that right, Caroline?
I did
did.
get that right.
Caroline's the winner chicken dinner.
No, I'm tied with Raggedy. So we're
All right.
both
Besties.
winning.
Final score: Mitsuki
Best friends.
with 5 points. Let's see how many of these that I missed that I've seen.
Oh, just so you know, you wrote down Love After World Domination when the answer was Mob Psycho 100 on your little spreadsheet.
All right, so let's see here. How many of these have I seen that I got wrong? So obviously we got to skip the first 5 because those were mine. So Mob Psycho, seen that. To Your Eternity, I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. I saw that. I've seen Food Wars. I've seen Domestic Girlfriend.
So for listeners, again, if you want to pitch in, get a hint at or look at the sheet we got. I put the other 4 shows that I did not use on here.
So
So all 9 of them are there.
I'm surprised that we didn't overlap with our.
That's why I did 9 just to be safe.
Caroline and Raggedy Doctor won the game with a tie of 12 points.
Yeah,
Otaku Cop with 10, and I got 5. But I will say that out of the ones I missed, I had seen 7 of them. This is really not good. I saw 7 of them that I missed, but fuck it. Oh my god! All right, that's the end of the game. Was that fun?
That was fun.
So much fun.
Well, very well timed because we were at exactly 1 hour on the show here. So why don't we go to the news break? Wait, when do you like to read the intro trivia question?
Read
Yes.
it. Who did
All right.
you...
Oh, wait, you got it.
Stop interrupting me.
My bad.
Okay. Who did Yukinobu Tatsu work as an assistant for before he made Dandadan? And we will give you the answer after the news break.
Hey anime fans, Mitsuki is here and I'm bringing you your anime news as always, starting with a web manga, Kini Natteru Hito ga Otoko Janakata, otherwise titled as The Guy She Was Interested In Wasn't a Guy at All. The web manga will be made into an anime, this being done by Sumiko Arai. Started airing back in April of 2022 and has 950,000 copies in print cumulatively. It's about a girl who has a crush on Aya Osawa, a boy that is apparently perfect, very nonchalant, sharp with style, quick-witted, listens to great music. But the classmates of the girl have to wonder how they will come around to telling her that the crush that she has isn't actually a guy at all, but is in fact a girl. So you'll have to see how this girl's love property pans out when the anime Kini Natteru Hito ga Otoko Janakata comes out later on, I assume this year. Next up, Crunchyroll finally confirms that Solo Leveling is the most watched new anime of 2024 over popular other candidates such as Dandadan, Kaiji Number 8, Windbreaker, Frieren, and more. It looks like this report came out in a newsletter sent to the media confirming what many of us already pretty much knew about the series' massive global reach, and Crunchyroll has confirmed that this is indeed the case. So data from Parrot Analytics also supports that Solo Leveling's anime's success globally. It was nominated for, I guess, the most popular anime globally, along with titans like My Hero Academia, for the most in-demand anime of 2024, but ultimately lost this category out to, you guessed it, One Piece. But it did apparently beat out properties such as The Apothecary Diaries, Dandadan, and Frieren, which did receive praise in the awards, but did not come out on top. Next up, we have some more popularity stuff going on here. Demon Slayer's anime misses the #1 spot in new official streaming rankings. So a major streaming service recently published its yearly anime rankings based on viewership data from 2024, which is described as, quote, the Netflix of Japan, that being ABEMA, which is the media streaming service. And it looks like they have revealed that Oshinoko Season 2 indeed did win first place for the most streamed anime of 2024 on that service. And other popular titles also were in the running, which did include Demon Slayer, Apothecary Diaries, and others. But it looks like nothing, at least in Japan, can top Oshinoko. And lastly, new anime announcements to wrap up the news break. It looks like the second season of Sentai Daishikaku, or Go-Go Loser Ranger, has been announced, so this property will be getting a second season. It looks like it's scheduled to premiere on April 13th, so you won't have to wait very long. It'll be on the CBC and TBS Agura anime time slot in Japan, but most of you don't really care about that because I'm sure you don't live in Japan. The anime adapts Negi Haruba's action sci-fi manga, which began in Shonen Magazine in February of 2021, and Kodansha shipped the 17th volume on January 17th. So if you are a fan of Go-Go Loser Ranger, second season's coming, and you won't even have to wait long for it. This was Mitsugi, and this was your anime news break, and now, as of course, time to get back to the podcast. Anime Addicts, as you know, this podcast recently became independently funded, and we are attempting to continue on funding this podcast with the help of so many of our listeners without having to play annoying commercials for underwear and razors and cat food and all kinds of other things that bore you and make your listening experience not quite what it could be. And if you go over to our website, AAAPodcast.com/join, you can sign up. You can also do so on Patreon. And when you do, you'll get our hentai episodes, our hobby addicts, and our after parties, 8 total episodes of our podcast per month. just for you, just for saying a little thank you for supporting the podcast, because we do appreciate it so much. You can also go to our website, AAAPodcast.com, simply across the top and click the donate button. If you don't really want to sign up, you can just throw us a couple bucks, help us out. And if you don't have any money to throw our way, hey, we still love you. We hope you keep listening. We appreciate all of our listeners, and we love doing this podcast for you so much, as we have for over 11 years now. So hopefully we'll have another 11 years to come. I love you all so much. Again, if you want to help out the podcast, you can go to AAAPodcast.com/join or Patreon.
And now, great moments in Anime Addicts Anonymous history.
It's a rough life with Chi-Chi, okay? I'm actually going to put this one on Goku mostly. I mean, Goku, he's never there. Chi-Chi she's getting lonely, all in that little tiny house that's in the middle of nowhere. There's no neighbors. She's getting lonely. Suddenly, like, the mailman's starting to look good. She's like, the mailman. The mailman came by. I'm all alone. The pool boy, he's looking good. And to make matters worse, Gohan and Goten absolutely take after Goku. Like, they look exactly like Goku. They don't look like Chi-Chi at all.
His seed is so strong. He's so alien that it just takes over.
They look like Goku. They fight. All they want to do is fight. They're always wearing orange. Pretty soon she's got like PTSD. She's all like, oh my god, orange. She hates Halloween. She's just, oh my god. And before you know it, it's like Goku comes home. He hasn't been home in like 5 years. He comes home. She's not there, and there's just like divorce papers on the table.
Damn it! If only I could read, I would know what these papers mean.
He can't read it. He's got to go ask Piccolo. He's like, oh, Goku, this is not good. Korin like comes down. He's like, Goku, you can always live on Korin's lookout. With Yajirobe, that's when you know you've hit rock bottom. You're like hanging out with Yajirobe. Welcome back to the podcast. I have a cat, Mako Reactor. Look at him. You want to say something? You want to say something?
No.
Meow.
Who did Yukinobu Tatsu work as an assistant for before he made Don to Don? The answer is Tatsuki Fujimoto, the creator of Chainsaw Man. That's right. Oh, you little kitty cat with a poopy butt. That's what he's got.
Does he ever not have a poopy butt?
Have you seen how fluffy this cat is? It's amazing he can shit without getting it all over himself. All right. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I missed you all so much. Did you miss me? Probably not. Time for mailbags.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag.
Nobody misses a bald man.
Anime.
Mailbag. Bag. If I just kept this cat on stream instead of me, we'd probably have like twice as many followers. If it was
Honestly, yeah.
yeah, it's
Cats,
true.
cats win the internet.
All right.
If you want to
Yes, please.
submit a mailbag, you can do so at AAAPodcast.com. Click on the mailbag button and send us anything you like, any questions, any queries. We got one from Styx here who says, I'm a truck driver and all I do as I travel the country is listen to podcasts as I drive. I started listening to the AA podcast about a month ago at episode 150 on Spotify. Ooh, back in the good old days. I'm
Circa
currently
2012.
on episode... Yeah, I'm currently on episode 312, so they've made quite some progress. So I got a lot of listening to do. Anyways, it blows my mind how some shows that are pretty beloved now, like Konosuba, Grimgar, and Overlord, did not pass your 3-episode test. I'm looking forward to listening to any regrets you might have had regarding any shows that you didn't pass that were a big hit later on. Keep up the great work. So it's kind of hard for me to think of examples off the top of my head. It's not like we keep track of the shows that we watch a few episodes of for review and then which ones we pass and which ones we don't pass, unless that's on a doc somewhere that I'm not knowledgeable of. But back when I was a listener, I was really surprised that Hinamatsuri didn't get reviewed. Like, I was looking in the review log. I'm like, where's Hinamatsuri? I want to hear what they said about it. And they didn't. Because it wasn't, I don't even think it was even on the lookout for that show. So, disappointing.
I will say we did review Grimgar. So, because I like that anime quite a bit. I remember reviewing it. We haven't done Konosuba. Mostly because it's I mean, you wouldn't be satisfied anyway. It's like, how many seasons does that shit have now? And we wouldn't be covering it. It's got more than 2 seasons.
There's a third spin-off season that's unrelated. It's 2.
Isn't there another season coming out like right now?
There's a third one that is coming out at some point this year.
Anyway, so we've covered most things. You know, I went into my anime list and I filtered it to the last 10 years and I sorted it by score, and we've covered the majority of everything. I'd say like 95%. But a few regrets. I think that Haikyuu never got a lot of coverage. I think we covered 1 season of Haikyuu. We haven't really covered hardly any of the Monogatari series, to my knowledge. So that's probably a whiff. The biggest whiff, the one that stands out the most, is Psycho Pass. We definitely haven't covered Psycho Pass, and I think that was a big mistake. 'Cause I think that was a very popular show that we should have covered that we never did. So, but most things we have done. Any other comments from any of the gentlemen? You're muted.
I'll go then. I would say that I, obviously being newer, don't have regrets on shows that I've or haven't passed, because we're only just getting to that now. So just thank you. Can't wait for you to catch up and hear your question.
I think I'm unmuted now. My bad. I was just going to say that I remember when I was a listener too, there wasn't anything that really stuck in my mind that wasn't covered where I was like, oh man, I can't believe they didn't cover that. But the beauty of the show is that we have the ability, sometimes as just a regular podcast topic, to go back and kind of do a re-examination or a retrospective on something. So, you know, you're always welcome to send us stuff in and say, hey, I don't remember you reviewing X anime. Could you guys maybe do a segment on it? We just might.
Plus listener's choice, picking
That's
up
right.
a little bit of the slack.
That's right.
All right. Raggedy Doctor, how about this next one?
Yeah, this next one's from Emu Warrior. Emu Warrior wants to know, what is the sickest anime-related piece of clothing or item you own? Mine is a set of Pumas, actually 2, from that they did a collaboration with One Piece. So I'm going to show it on stream. This is the Shanks one, so it's got his little pirate flag there. It's got actually his face scar on the shoe itself, which is pretty cool. And then one for the Blackbeard one. There's 2 other ones. There's one for
Those look sleek.
for Buggy and for Luffy. They have like the characters on the inside. It might be hard to see, but I put a picture or a link to the website on the show notes for anyone else who wants to see it.
Otaku Cop?
Okay, go ahead.
I got so speaking of saving the world in a doggy style position, this is my 02 figure. I actually really loved the Darling in the Franxx show because I'm a big mech fan. I also love all the Gundams, but I couldn't resist getting that figurine. So that's probably, but I don't have many, so that's probably one of the few.
I thought she would be more naked. I'm disappointed. Caroline, how about you?
I don't really have a lot of anime merch. I've talked about it a few times. I just don't really like it when things are so obviously anime related, and I don't really do merch, really like figurines or anything like that. But I'm wearing my neighbor Totoro sweater that I got from Box Lunch, and it's so cute. And again, one of the reasons why I really like it is that people have actually complimented it without being aware that it's an anime merch thing, because you know it's just like it has all these flowers, but it also has like the Soot Sprites and Totoro. It's on there, but it's just a cute thing. Like, it's not in your face.
Box is great for that.
Yeah. The only thing is that the decals on the inside of the shirt are scratchy and pretty uncomfortable. So I have to wear an undershirt underneath, but even the sleeves still kind of scratchy. But it's cute, so no pain, no gain. I have the link on there as well.
For me, I don't really buy a lot of anime stuff. When I go to Japan, I might come back with like a half dozen gachapons, and that's about it. But I do have this. This is probably the coolest cell I've got. The Evangelion cell is probably the best one that I've got. I have no idea what it's worth. It's promo art that was in a museum. So my understanding is that this is not production, but it was either used in a TV commercial or was drawn by Gainax to be put in a museum. So there is a certificate inside of here that has like the authenticity from the studio and whatnot, but I don't know what it's worth. I think I bought it about 20 years ago for like a little over $300. So I have no idea what it's worth now. Could be more, could be the same, could be less. But anime sales are pretty much the only like things I want to buy that are, you know, like of substantial cost. Although my wife did get me a Sonic the Hedgehog refrigerator that is on the floor right down by my feet that is pretty dope. But that's sort of tangentially anime. But yeah, anime stuff is fun. So, is it time for the review of Dawn to Dawn?
I think it is.
All right. So, Dawn to Dawn, fall 2024 anime. It was, we passed it on episode 751. So, I watched this on Netflix, and I watched it dubbed. I'm going to make a wild guess that Raggedy watched it dubbed as well.
Naturally.
Dub life is just the correct life when the dub exists. Because when you're laying in bed and you're 90% asleep, you don't want to be reading because you'll be 100% asleep. So, based on a manga done by Science Saru. Good lord, what the hell would the synopsis even be for this? I mean, essentially, the main character Momo goes through a breakup right at the beginning of the series, and kind of has an unlikely friendship that forms with a nerdy guy at the school whose name is Ken, and they sort of form this friendship because he's really into the occult, so he loves aliens and shit like that, and she has a family that is tied to like the spirit world, like her grandmother or whatever is a medium or whatnot. So she believes in ghosts, but Ken does not, and Ken believes in aliens, but he does not believe in ghosts. So they kind of do this trade where, you know, he sends her to an abandoned building that has had alien sightings, and she sends him to a haunted tunnel where there's been ghost sightings, and they both run into ghosts and aliens, and this fucking crazy, just energetic,
hilarity ensues.
Yeah, energetic adventure, encountering multiple ghosts and multiple aliens. All the while, Ken is trying to get his cock and balls back, and I don't say that as a joke. His literal penis and balls are removed from his body, and they spend much of the series trying to get his penis and balls back with much style points, I would say. So, let's see. We'll start with who have I not started with, really? I think Otaku Cop, what were your expectations going into Dawn to Dawn?
So, because of all the hype surrounding the show, I did try to minimize my exposure to it going in blind. I just knew that it was going to be a merger of the sci-fi and the supernatural, and I love both of those genres. So I was just super excited for something to come through in the anime medium that brought both together. So I, watching it subbed like a proper cultured person would, that's how I went into it.
This man.
You don't know what movie that's from.
It's a great question. What movie is that
Isn't
from?
that It's from Monty Python, isn't it?
I thought it was from The Holy Grail, but it might be from
Monty
Prince.
Python.
I keep thinking Monty Python and The Holy Grail. I think it is. I think that's right.
I think pretty sure it's Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Let's
He's
see.
cultured now, huh?
Yeah. What the fuck? All right, Raggedy. Expectations.
So I kind of like we mentioned in the trivia question, I knew that Tatsu was an assistant to Fujimoto, so I kind of expected some Chainsaw Man-y vibes, but that was really it. I knew that those filthy readers put a lot of hype out there for it, which can go either they could be very right or very wrong. I did end up watching this weekly when it first came out, and then rewatched it this past week just to freshen back up. So I did kind of get it as it was coming out.
All right. And Caroline, you're not last. I'm last, but what were your expectations?
Just a side note. Apparently, the Boo clip is the Princess Bride.
Oh no!
According to people in
Oh,
chat.
that was gonna be.
Ooh, that was really embarrassing, guys.
Oh man, that was gonna be my second guess. But I'm sticking with it.
So, my expectations going into it. I also was cultured. I also watched it subbed. But I have heard clips of it in the dub online, and it does sound pretty good. At first, I was not going to watch it until the review, but I did not know when or if I would be on the review. And I'm like, damn it, I gotta get into this because it was so heavily hyped that I was expecting it to be the most incredible show of all time. So I started it early, finished it, and then I rewatched a few episodes in prep for the review.
The hype monster got you.
I mean, I wasn't sure if I was going to review it, so I'm like, I might as well just watch it, just enjoy it.
All right. For me, I had absolutely no clue at all. I mean, obviously the hype was real, but you can imagine going in totally cold my thought process when gobbling cock is a primary theme of the series. So I didn't expect that. And give me your banana. That was pretty wild. So recommendations. We're gonna go right back where we were. We're gonna go with Otaku Cop.
So I am going to cue all the wrestling fans. I said in the show notes that I would do my 2 fingers in the air. Yes. Yes. This was absolutely one of my favorites of 2024. Characters, story, delivery, music. It is the most unique action rom-com I've ever seen. And it blends sci-fi and supernatural. Absolutely recommend. Cannot recommend it enough.
All right. Raggedy.
All right, be warned, listeners. I'm about to glaze this show like I work for Krispy Kreme.
Oh my God. I'm putting my raincoat on.
This is what peak shonen looks like. It hits on every level: the characters, the music, the animation, the emotional beats. It's a non-stop action comedy roller coaster that only ever slows down to remind you that it's really a romance at heart. I cried like a baby at an episode we'll get to in the spoilers. This is easily one of the easiest recommendations of all time.
Caroline.
Okay. It slaps. It slaps so hard.
Oh, shit.
There's hardly anything that the show doesn't do well. The characters are so fun and expressive, and the dynamic between Momo and Okarun is just chef's kiss, amazing. The music is great. The visuals are great. The OP is fantastic. It's one of those shows where, like, the OP, even though how hyped the OP is, it stands up to the show itself. The only thing that might turn people away from this a little bit is that the near sexual assaults that occur, it's not fantastic. I mean, the fact that they almost occur isn't exactly the problem, but the anime sometimes lingers a little too much on Momo's underwear in these moments, which kind of takes away from the seriousness of the potential act. So, not great. It would be a little weird to show a non-anime person as their first anime, so I don't recommend that, but I think this show has the staying power to be legendary in the anime community, so I think it's always worth a try.
For me, I think that Momo's panties were overshadowed by epic gilfness. Yeah. Grandma, I'd like to fuck.
Granny Seiko.
Yep, Granny Seiko, and who gets jokes made about her for that exact reason. I mean, I think it was what was the pink-haired girl's name? She's like, what the hell is the deal with, what's the deal with the granny? Like, what's with the exceptionally hot grandma hanging out in your living room? I have recommended this show already. I don't think I will be quite as high on it as someone like Raggedy Doctor, but it is a good show. I have recommended it. I think that the strongest things about this anime are the main two characters. Really, I mean, they just have very good chemistry, as a duo, and that's very important. The characters are arguably the most important thing in really any show. They make or break a lot of time, and they really shine in this anime. I think the narrative it's a lighthearted narrative, but I think it definitely keeps the viewer expecting the unexpected. It's a wild ride. It never gets boring. And when you have a pretty good narrative and good characters, you end up with a pretty good product that is going to be better than the vast majority of other things that are out there. Only thing I'll mimic what Caroline said is that like you can't exactly recommend this anime to everybody. I mean, when the whole first episode is about abducting Momo and taking out her ovaries, and a ghost spirit trying to gobble cock, as she says. Can't really recommend that to like your boss, who my boss at work was very offended that there was a Gundam called the Gundam Unicorn. He did not like that. I was like, come
really?
on. I was like, come on, bro.
Why does he care?
Of all things.
I don't know, but I thought it was funny. And yes, I wouldn't exactly recommend this to my boss, but a trusted person that I know what kind of stuff they are into, etc. It would be really easy to recommend Dawn to Dawn. I like I said, I have recommended it already. So okay, we can just go into spoiler section. I really don't even like the spoiler section very much, but we can get into it.
Spoilers are coming. Oh my god.
I personally believe that doing the spoiler section just eliminates half the viewers when they'd rather hear us talk more about the show without spoilers. So I'm going to
Well, it's hard to talk a show without spoilers. Well, for certain shows.
I mean, that's true. It's true to an extent. So
one non-spoilery thing I can talk about real quick before we get to the meat of it is I do want to talk about how exceptional this dub is. They put
yeah, here he goes.
Yeah, that's right. You're gonna hear it. They put it. Not only do they put a ton of work in it, but some of the people that are involved, like Alex Lee, is in it. He's you may know him from the Solo Leveling dub. Carrie Walgren plays Granny Seiko, which she's from a bunch of stuff. She was a Haruko Haruhara in Fooly Cooly, and Turbo Granny is Barbara Goodson. She is Rita Repulsa is Turbo Granny, which is the most inspired casting I have ever seen.
I don't know who any of these people are, to be honest, but
you don't know from
Power Rangers.
Come on.
Not a Power Rangers guy.
Where's
I didn't really watch much Power Rangers either.
I dislike essentially all Super Sentai stuff that I've ever watched. So
anyway,
can't lie to you, but I would never lie to you. I love you too much.
But yeah, I'll get the dub glazing out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Keep going. I'm listening.
Well,
it's not quite a bukkake yet. Keep going.
They just do a great job. The dub is fantastic.
Yeah, and like the voice acting on the Japanese side, obviously not exactly the best judges of voice acting, considering we don't know Japanese, but the energy, it's there. And even though they are yelling through a lot of the show, and that would have the possibility of getting grating, it's just, it doesn't get to the point where I'm like, shut up!
Yeah, that's like go ahead.
I was just going to say, as another person that enjoyed it in the sub, the voice actor for Ken Takakura is Tanjiro's voice actor from Demon Slayer. And I thought he has a very recognizable voice. Like when he's in a role, you know it's him. But I can say, as I've seen a ton of anime with him in it, he really kind of flexed his muscles, especially with the arguing and the bickering with Momo. So I thought it was great.
Does he do both voices for like Okarun when he's like normal?
I believe he does.
Hours? Okay.
I believe he does.
That's pretty cool.
All right, so like we got to dig in. What are we digging in on?
I like the dichotomy of the action that the show has and the sort of the utility that they get from the downbeat moments. So, you go from having a big action scene where they're battling the aliens in the spaceship and then or they're battling the fucking whatever, I guess it was an alien out in like the front yard of the temple, and then when that's all over, you get your downtime. It's like when you finish a dungeon in an RPG and you get back to town, and it's like they make very good use of these moments with the comedy, the sort of like lighthearted like romance that they inject. There's never really like an area of poor pacing that the show steps into that loses the viewer. It's either here's an action scene, we're fighting the granny, we're fighting the aliens, whatever, and then boom, after that ends, they just make perfect use of the dichotomy between the different themes that the show has, and I think it's really strong in that way.
I think the show doesn't waste any time beyond even just with the story, with the way it does its animation, and even like little in between scenes where even when it gets to a slower moment where maybe it wouldn't be visually as exciting, right? Like you have other shows that would just have two talking heads. They'll do things where they'll have like I think it's the second episode where they have like the screen box out around them as they're talking, or they'll have the camera like follow a different perspective and move around. So it still, even in those slower moments, keeps it visually engaging.
Yeah, and then in certain fight scenes, especially the acrobatic Silky fight comes to mind, where they turn everything a certain color. So in that day, it was turned pink. And then the moment that Silky gets like KO'd, then it starts flashing from pink to normal, and then pink again, and it just does this effect, and then eventually it just goes back to normal. And I'm like, they didn't have to do that, but God, it was so effective.
The color thing is my favorite, one of my favorite pieces of like little storytelling that they do, because every single like creature, every alien, every yokai has its own color, right? So Turbo Granny is red, the first aliens are blue, and it kind of shows who's like the thing to be feared at any given moment, right? So when Momo's on the ship, it's all blue, and then when Okarun first comes in, like the red washes over the blue as that's now the new threat. In the fight scene in episode, I think it's like 9, the one in the school, right, when it's the mantis shrimp.
I was an extra.
Even when you go and see his, even when you go and see his like world, when it gets to his flashback, that's all yellow. But then when Nessie's now the real problem, it switches to green and takes over as the water washes, and it's a good visual storytelling thing in addition to keeping it like stimulating.
Well, now that you mentioned the fight in the school with Nessie and the mantis shrimp and all that was one thing I was like not all that huge on in the show. Like I just did not like that battle very much. I think part of it was because there were multiple different enemies of different types, and I'm like, wait a minute, are they all on the same side? Or are they all different? And then they switched on who they were battling, and then they combined, and it wasn't as easy to follow as some of the other fights. And I guess like that's not the biggest deal. It's kind of a nitpick, to be honest, but it just wasn't my favorite fight.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed that one. Like I said, the color thing is one of that like visual cue to kind of give you that idea of what you're following. They talk very fast, so sometimes it's easy to miss like that little bit of exposition that explains what they're doing. So I can see that. But I enjoyed that one, personally.
I don't like the overly silly stuff. I mean, that's pretty much the only thing about this anime that I didn't like a lot, was that it's just sometimes a little silly. And I get that that's, to other people, that's a selling point. But yeah, when you talk about like, the battle in the school with the shrimp and all that, it gets a little weird for me. I'm okay. I was okay with like the aliens and the ghosts and the and whatnot, but I have a limit to the silliness. But I don't think the show really went past that point. But yeah, it's definitely something that I think is going to test a few people when they watch it.
Although my ability to take on cringe was being tested after the end of that fight, because that's another reason why I don't like that fight. It's like they end up naked.
Oh, it's so
funny. On top of each other in front of other students. And I'm like, dear God, I can't. How are they going to explain that? And they just don't. And now they just think they're some perverts.
I mean, it's pretty clear that like sex
God.
is a major theme of this anime. So I'm not going to claim to be able to get down to the base level of what the message is, but I mean, it seems like they're talking about penises and vaginas and being naked for an awfully large portion of this anime. So
Well, but the thing is though, I thought that because they did such a good job animating the fight scenes, even though a bunch of them involved in being in their underwear, never once did I watch the fight scene going, oh, that she's in her underwear. It was more just like, oh, look at how they animated that side kick or that spinning back kick. Like, I thought the fights were just so well choreographed and animated that it didn't really matter to me that they were fighting practically naked or in their underwear at times. It was that well done. I just thought that the combat choreography was just so good.
And the way they
Yeah, and when Moma like awakens her powers and she is literally in her underwear, and that is the moment I kind of forget that she's in her underwear. I'm like, oh my god, this looks so cool.
And with the fight
Exactly.
scenes, they do a really good job with the perspective shifting, where they'll put you in the eyes of one of the characters, so you will zoom like through the scene with them, and then get thrown back with them. It's way more interesting to look at than just watching the character themselves get thrown back. The one episode I really want to talk about is episode 7, though. To a Kinder World. I like a baby. I've watched that episode I think like 5 times at this point, and I cry every time.
Yeah, it's a hard one.
I can tell you, I follow a lot of anime influencers on TikTok, and that episode pretty much collectively broke the anime community. Everybody's talking about, well, what was with that episode? I don't understand. Like, everybody was just a sobbing mess after watching that. And I think one of the strengths of the show is it keeps its heart throughout. Even with all the comedy and all the hijinks and the craziness of the sci-fi, the show at its core has real heart. Whether it's Momo and Takakura's romance or people coming to terms with their situations, like, the show just has heart that it never loses, and it also strikes chords at the right times. And that episode was it was chef's kiss. It was a great episode.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't read the manga, but I have looked into the reception of that, and apparently the manga portion of that flashback for episode 7 was a relatively small portion that they expanded on to a pretty great extent. I think what is kind of special about that backstory I mean, obviously we have so many heartbreaking backstories in anime. What I think this one does different is that we never know exactly what happens to her daughter. Like, it's just left up to interpretation. And I think most of us can interpret that she was either killed or possibly trafficked. So the fact that we don't get to know and we're just left to our own devices to think about the worst case scenario that happened to her, it sucks, man.
I think they do kind of tell. It's one of those things, right? It's the visual storytelling where you have to piece it together for yourself, and I guess it is technically an assumption, but my reading of it was that when the acrobatic Silky dies at the end of the episode, Ira specifically says, let them, like meaning the both of them, go off to a kinder world, and then it shoots to the mother and the daughter kind of walking off into like a light kind of thing. It seemed to me that it was clear that they both passed away. But again, it's visual storytelling that you're pulling pieces from, and it is a bit up to interpretation.
Yeah, so I kind of agree that like both of them are, the little girl's probably dead at this point, but you don't know what happened between now and then,
Oh, of course. But yeah, I don't know. That episode is maybe it's affecting me a little more because I do have a young daughter who is like roughly the same age, and it kind of shows how even though this is it is a little bit of an overly silly show, that it still can strike these chords of very real things. It goes to even the romance in the show. The romance feels very real. Like a lot of times in these anime romances, it's very silly, very dramatic, very over the top, where the things around the romance are that. And, Okarun and Momo, they feel like real people, and they feel like they react and have appropriate like teenage responses to discovering, crushes and sex and all these things.
You're saying they act more like people and less like anime characters?
Yes. That's exactly what it is.
And one thing that
that was a big criticism that Miyazaki had back in the day. He would complain and bitch about all the anime that were coming out, and I think his comment was like, "Have any of these people ever even like been around other people? Like, because so many people in anime just don't even remotely have the same reactions or like emotional, output of like a normal human. So like he would look at an anime and be like absolutely no research or thought went into like what a 5-year-old girl would behave like at all. They just fucking slap them in there, and then just like everybody just pretends like it's fine. But everybody knows a non-naturally acting person when they see one, and I think that this, like you just said, I think this anime, amongst all the silliness, they're still just like high school kids, and they do a pretty good job. I mean, I don't think that they're not overly freaking out about like all the penis jokes and stuff like that. It's just about the proper amount of shyness, but they're not acting ridiculous, and I think that's refreshing.
And the moments where they are pretty ridiculous, like the whole thing with Momo and Ken Takakura, it's crazy. It's just how much she obsesses over this actor, but it's so funny. And I just think about her and so she, Okarun and Grandma are running through the hallway, and Grandma calls him by his name, and she just goes and then falls back and just crashes. She just stops running. I just thought it was great.
And one other element that I really appreciated about the story is that with all the stuff with the different creatures and going on around them, is that unless you have a power or a spirit, power, you don't see that stuff. So like that scene where Okarun gets defensive of Momo with his classmate and he transforms, we see the transformation, but his classmate doesn't see that transformation. It's still just Okarun being Okarun, and he's like gripping him. All of a sudden, this weak kid just gets super strong. He's like, Momo ain't that kind of girl. It's like, yeah. Defend your lady, boy. Defend her. I like that.
No, I mean, in addition to that, I also like how they, so often in these romance shows, right, they don't talk to each other, right? They just don't. About 90% of problems in romance anime could be solved if they just like had a conversation about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And they even say, I think it's Okarun who says it. He says, if you care and you're upset, just come out and say it. They actually like talk to each other and have conversations about their feelings. Crazy idea.
What a wild world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite.
What are your thoughts? Sorry, you can go if you'd like.
I think my favorite episode of this anime was the first episode, to be honest, because the first episode has some shock value. It starts off simple enough, with a breakup and kids being bullied in high school, and some unlikely meetings between classmates, but nothing out of the ordinary. And then like it just goes, and even going to like an abandoned building to see an alien isn't really that outlandish. You don't really expect too much to happen, really, if you're me at least. But this anime just goes fucking hard in that first episode, and it pretty much breaks any kind of like expectation of normalcy that you would have from this show and sets up an expectation for the rest of it. And it has some shock value, I think, and I think that that's really nice. Like, we had some people over and we watched episode 1 of Dandadan, and their reactions were just about correct, which is, what the fuck? Basically. And but not in a negative way, more of in like this is fresh and very interesting, and I like it, but it really sets that stage like immediately. And so you talked about episode 7. I think the first episode to me is my favorite for that reason. Go ahead, Caroline.
So I was going to bring up Ira because I go back and forth on her because I hate her. I hate Ira, but at the same time, I friggin' love her because like as much as I was expecting her to be like just the bitchy mean girl that will be introduced to the cast for some reason. And then she's not only like a bitchy mean girl, but she's a bitchy mean girl who's a massive choonie. She's a huge choonie, and it's awesome. It's awesome that she just is so full of herself that she suddenly thinks that she is the foretold savior of the universe, and she must. No, she will. She must defeat the evil that is Momo Ayase.
She has protagonist syndrome so hard.
Yes, it's great.
Oh, no,
But I think some of the funniest moments are her bickering with Momo, especially when they're eating and they're fighting. Like that dynamic, I'm with you. She's annoying. Sometimes you want to punch her, but I think she's also growing, and I think she adds a lot to the comedic part of the show for me.
Just looking through some stuff here.
I say one other thing I want to touch on, which we don't talk about a lot, but I picked up on this with the show, is the sound design. They do a lot of really clever things with the sound design and put in a little extra effort, right? So like there'll be times where normally you wouldn't hear background noise, where they'll put in people walking, or you hear like certain noises that you normally wouldn't hear, like earrings jingling around, stuff like that, which is nice that they go the extra, mile with that. But a few of the better ones that were really impressive to me were when in the 4th episode, when they start the race against Turbo Granny in like crab mode, that they time the sounding of the like zombies getting thrown off to sound like a gunshot as the race starts, was really cool. And I think it was the last episode when Ken and Gigi are having their weird like thing where they're dancing around and singing. Ken is singing the ED for Slam Dunk, and so Gigi immediately starts singing the OP as like, oh, he gets this cool thing I get, so he responds with the OP. And then on top of that, the sounds they're making, you can hear like the sounds of sneakers squeaking against a basketball court, even though they're wearing socks. Like that extra little touch to throw the joke over the top, and like just those little things are present throughout every episode.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of subtle jokes that I just don't get, because I haven't seen Slam Dunk, so I wouldn't have gotten that reference. But I keep on thinking, like, is this a Takakura Ken reference that I'm just not getting? Because I've never heard of Takakura Ken until the show. And so I feel like there's just like sprinkled in these smart little jokes that a plebeian like me can't get, but it doesn't. The quality doesn't go down because of that.
But that's to speak to the craft, right? Like even if you don't get the specific joke, it's still done well enough where you'll still find it funny that they're jumping around and singing this weird song, or you'll find it funny that the Momo's friend is walking funny and like doing this weird like spotlight thing when she's supposed to be impersonating some Japanese crime drama. Maybe you've never seen it, but it's still funny and visually interesting.
Couple comments. Did you guys know that Mizuki Nana plays the voice of Seiko, the Granny Seiko or whatever? Mizuki Nana being I guess semi-retired pop star. I'm not really sure if she does a lot of voice acting too, but she definitely has a solid number of album sales as well. I don't know. I'm not sure if she's still active. She's 45 now, so she's a little. By Japanese standards, she's definitely a baba, but also I don't want to finish this review without talking about the OP.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
I mean, first of all,
it's like hypnotic.
It's
so good.
And the band's name's Creepy Nuts, so you got to appreciate that right away. And then everyone agreed that it was sounded like the Pikmin in the sound effect, like. I mean, you got to listen to the song again and maybe play Pikmin, but it was definitely a meme online that Pancake showed me on several occasions of it. Everybody else seemed to independently arrive at the same thing, which is the little like, I can't even mimic the voice, but it's like almost like a little insect sounding noise at the beginning of the song sounds like the Pikmin. So you have to go back and you'll have to go back and listen to it, but you'll know what sound effect I'm talking about when you hear it.
I can see that. I mean, on top of the song, which is good, the visuals for it are great. I love when a show actually puts in like new and separate visuals, especially ones that hint at other stuff, like hinting at stuff to come up in the show, or even like other things. Like there's a lot of references to another Super Sentai thing. I don't know why. Turbo Man, not Turbo Man. Why am I saying Turbo Man? Oh my god, I'm gonna look it up. Come back to me.
Coming back.
But yeah, it definitely, like, there's a lot of shows where I'll skip the OP. It's either obnoxious or it just didn't vibe. I never once skipped the OP for this show. It just
right.
It's definitely a banger.
Yeah. I even have it on my playlist. I listen to the song all the time. And it's crazy how well known Creepy Nuts is now, because like they have a really strange name, but they did this OP. They did. I was honestly not expecting them to so quickly overrun Bling Bang Born, or Bling Blank. I can't say it very well, but the OP of Mashal,
Bing bong
which
bong,
was
bing
also
bong bong.
yeah, that was also a massive one.
Yeah.
And they quickly followed it up with this, and then they've had other major OPs. Not those two definitely stand out, but yeah, they're pretty big now.
I got it. It was Ultraman. I can't believe I messed that one up. Like when Momo does the kick in the OP and her earring like shoots up, it becomes like the eye, and she just looks like Ultraman. And there's a few other like references to Ultraman in the show that comes up, but that was the one I was thinking of.
Ultraman, man, yeah.
And the run that Okarun does as he's like transforming, and the title card comes up for Science Saru, and it's the run from Devilman Crybaby. Love it.
Did you guys also watch the ED at all?
I have watched it,
times.
but I did skip it a few times.
Yeah, it's not as good as the OP, but the one thing that struck me was the hair dryer that Turbo Granny's using, because she misses the feeling of running fast to like simulate it. Like those little
Right, I've
those
heard
little
that too.
things are so good.
Now about Turbo Granny, because they kind of made it part of her backstory that she goes around trying to comfort the souls of girls that were assaulted and murdered. But Momo was about to be assaulted by the aliens, and she wasn't exactly being very comforting in that moment. Instead, tried to attack her when she was.
It's kind of like the twisted nature of yokai, right? Like the acrobatic Silky wants to take care of Ira as her daughter, but ends up eating her. Like
Okay.
You know, it's like this idea that they're
It's
born
like-
from this weird need.
They're
and
still
that was-
monsters at the end of the day.
Yeah, so the alive versus dead is kind of the major barrier there.
Yeah, kind of. And then it's just the fact that like a lot of the yokai stuff isn't explained, and that's another problem a lot of anime has, where it will overly exposit at you, and any other show would have spent an entire episode just explaining to you what a Turbo Granny was or what an acrobatic Silky was. You get most of it from just kind of watching and picking it up for yourself. It's like, yep, she runs fast. That's like all they tell you, and that's about it. Like the rest of it, you kind of have to figure out on your own, which is a benefit, I think.
One thing I wish they did more is that they just didn't really they introduced Gigi, but at the very end, and we don't really get too much about him yet, and then they kind of end the episode mid-arc on an unsatisfying note. And yeah, that was kind of surprising for a show to kind of end, like especially such a hyped show to end on such a kind of a
I blame
neutral point.
production, and this is the Netflix thing, where this was clearly planned to be a 24 season, 2-core show, and Netflix was like, and we're going to push that second core to the summer because we have projected that that's going to work best for whatever we're doing.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's
called it
definitely
season 1.
it's definitely getting another season. You won't have to wait long for it. I do hate it though when they kind of end in the middle like that, but yeah, they just don't care.
I think if this was not being produced by Netflix, it would have been called Core 1.
Yeah, I mean, I still wouldn't like that being like core 1,
big
core
point.
2, but yet they're separated, so they're not different seasons, but they probably should be treated as different seasons. I don't really care for that.
it was
But
just a poor place to
Netflix
stop.
did Dungeon Meshi, and that's a far more slice of life show that probably would have done fine as a split core. So it's kind of funny how they decided to do this.
Who knows what makes them make those? Because they do it with Ranma 1/2 as well. They did the same thing. They did it with Squid Games. They have done it a number of times. It's a weird place to end, but knowing that there's more coming and knowing that pretty quickly after the season ended kind of smooths it a little. But it's the only bad thing I can think of with this show.
Well, I think with Squid Games, that was a production choice, not from Netflix. Because they wanted to do all this stuff, but it was going to be too much for a season 2 only, so they decided, okay, we'll make a separate season with this.
Okay, sure.
Let's wrap it up.
Yeah.
Any more final comments?
Nope.
All right, we'll get to scoring then. You want to go first, Otaku Cop?
Sure. At the end of the day, I really thought that it was just a perfect mix of the sci-fi and horror genres. Characters are all incredibly likable. I think we've talked to death just how great everything is from top to bottom. So for me, I am going to score this 4.5 gobbled weenies out of 5.
Spicy. Raggedy?
All right, Rags.
I have been struggling with my score, honestly, because I have been searching for anything in here to make me not give this a 5 out of 5. And from the sound design to the character interactions to the writing, the animation, the comedy, it all hits every single time. The OP, the ED, from start to finish, every single second hits, except for, like we said, kind of where it ends. And my debate with myself was, is that enough for me to drop it down to a 4.5? And I think after sitting here, I'm going to say no. I'm giving it 5 beautiful golden balls out of 5.
Very nice. Okay. I have never given a show a 5 out of 5 before. And now that it's been this long, it's tough to give one. As much as I love this show, I thought nearly everything was done to perfection. However, it's not a perfect show. And I just can't do it. I just can't give it a 5 out of 5. It's not the right time. And I don't know when the right time will be. But it's a great show. And so I'm going to have to give this 4.5 dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-duns out of 5.
Nice.
What about the Krubata?
I don't get it.
Maybe you can use that for your score.
This is a really fun anime. I'm looking forward to season 2. I'm sure we'll end up watching it. I know Pancake, if she was here, she would give it a really good score also. And for me, it's just a little too silly. You know, when they're fighting giant, like, you know, when the opponents that they're fighting get really silly, I've already mentioned all
you were
that.
not brought to tears over the alien father, the single dad bringing a cow home to give a blood transfusion to his child? So sad.
I cried like a baby. I gave as much as I could.
Where'd they get the cow?
That's a good question.
A dairy farmer.
How nice of him.
For me, the show is really good. It's just a little silly. I'm going to give it 4 Krubatas out of 5.
Excellent.
I think it's
Still a great score across the board.
I don't even know if that's what he's saying in the OP or in that song. I have no fucking clue what he's saying.
Oh, that part. Yeah.
Krubata. Oh, by the way, the Beyonce dance in the OP, very fun.
Yeah.
And I have been known to
We got
try.
the Carlton in there too.
I've been known to do the Beyonce dance in front of the mirror very badly. I tried to get good at it, but I can't. It's the whole like shoulder move, and then she just like jumps. Yeah, can't do it. So I don't know what that evens out to, but it smelled like a 4.5 on average. So pretty good, pretty strong across 4 people. But will it win Anime of the Year? Wow. You have to
Dun, dun.
you have to go to animeoscars.com if you want to
wait.
put in your vote, and then you
I should
will-
have gone dun da dun.
Yeah, exactly. Don da don. So head over there and vote if you want to for Anime of the Year. So, and that's our show for today. Wow, wrap it up, B. Wrap it up, B.
Is
So
this goodbye or is it goodbye?
it's time for the after party. So
See you tomorrow.
thanks to everybody for listening live. For those of you listening at home, thanks for being here. Thanks for making us a part of your day. I hope it made your day a little less boring. And thanks to the crew, to Caroline for wearing that cute but scratchy shirt,
Scratchy.
to Raggedy for wearing that very timely Don to Don shirt and looking very fly,
Do what I can.
to Otaku Cop for repping the Capitals and being the ultimate sports fan, and for me, I'm in my jammers. Really, I'm wearing my jammies right now. So, and I shan't be putting on real clothing today. So, that's tough toenails. We'll see you guys next time on the podcast. Thanks for contributing. If you do so, thanks for listening. Write a review if you'd like to. Tell a friend, and don't forget to tip your waitress. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
See you next time.